Hello and welcome to the Path to Freedom podcast, a weekly podcast with the intention to inspire, empower, and uplift us all to develop a healing consciousness that we, that is you and me, may forever allow for greater and grander versions and expressions of who and what we are to emerge with ease, grace, and spiritual dignity. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and I am your host. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Path to Freedom podcast. This awesome podcast about freedom, about wholeness and harmony and love and peace and joy, about releasing and letting go of that which no longer serves us, that we may forever allow for greater and grander versions and expressions of who and what we are to emerge with ease and grace. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and I'm the host of this podcast. If you have tuned in before, I welcome you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is the first time you're tuning in, I welcome you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As I always say, all are welcome, regardless of where you are and who you are and what you are, when you are. Welcome. This episode is about principles. A principle is a statement of absolute truth, and we can use them in various ways to affirm, to expand our minds and expand our consciousness. And today we will be having a conversation about how we can use them when faced with a challenge. So the topic for this episode is, when faced with a challenge, come back to principle, because they are amazing in terms of raising our vibration. They are amazing in terms of dissolving fear and worry and doubt. And so we always want to come back to principle. And so this is what this episode is all about. But as always, before we get into the episode and this exciting topic, let's have a moment of stillness, a moment of meditation, a moment of prayer, of coming back to the nowness of this moment. And so in this moment, I invite you to close your eyes as the music begins to play. I invite you to gently tap yourself between the eyebrows, activating that pineal gland, the first eye, that we may see and hear that which cannot be seen nor heard with our senses, our physical senses. So gently tap there. I invite you to place yourself in a comfortable position. I invite you to put a smile on your face, letting your body know that all is well in this moment. And as we enter into the meditation, we do so with the intention to simply wake up, to simply expand our consciousness, allowing that which is true and real to reveal itself to us. So I invite you to turn your attention toward your breath, allowing your breath to move you into the stillness, into the peace, that is here, that is in every moment. I invite you to place your hands in your lap, palms facing upward, having your thumb and middle finger touch. Allowing each breath to move us deeper and deeper and deeper into the stillness. Realizing that there's no place we need to be, there's nothing we need to do, but be right here and right now. And so as we sit, whatever comes up, emotions, thought patterns, physical sensations, I invite you to just embrace and allow it. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to get involved in it or with it. But you can simply observe, anchored by your breath in the nowness of this moment. You can observe, be aware of what is passing through your experience. And should a thought pattern or fantasy snag your attention, I invite you to gently and lovingly bring it back to your breath and begin again. All is well. Peace, be still. All is well. Peace, be still. A little moment longer. Keeping our attention on our breath. Allowing that feeling tone that all is well to penetrate and permeate our being. Every cell, every fiber vibrates at the level of all is well. And as I move into prayer, I invite you to remain with your eyes closed. I invite you to remain open and available that you may catch the vibration of the prayer. And so in this moment, how easy it is for me to be grateful for my life, for who I am, for where I am, for who I'm becoming, for that which is emerging in us and through me in this very moment. How grateful I am, so grateful I am for this podcast and the opportunities that it brings, for the possibilities that it brings, for all of you who are tuning in, participating, co-creating this field. How grateful I am for my intentions, my intention to wake up to who and what spirit is, and my absolute oneness with it, my intention to forever love for greater and greater expressions of who and what I am to emerge, and my intention to be a greater teacher and a healer than I've ever imagined. How grateful I am for these guiding lights. They're like beacons guiding me along my path. I'm so grateful for them. So grateful for that still small voice within me that forever whispers words and words of wisdom and guidance, forever guiding and leading and moving me forward, onward, upward. How grateful I am for all of those who have gone before me, the teachers and my spiritual guides and aides, who point the way, who lead the way. How grateful I am for the technology that allows this episode, this podcast, this field to take place. How grateful I am for my family, for my body, that it breathes, digests the food, remains strong and vital and vibrant. The health that I enjoy and the health that we enjoy, my family and I. The wholeness that is here present in this moment. The peace that is here present in this moment. The love that is here present in this moment. So much to be grateful for. And from this space of gratitude and appreciation, I recognize that spirit is infinite. That spirit is infinite love and peace and joy, abundance, beauty, creativity, intelligence, wholeness. The spirit cannot ever diminish itself nor contradict itself. It cannot go against itself, but it's always for itself, fully present in every space and place. And what that means, that spirit is fully present, it means that the essence of God, all these qualities and many more, they are fully present everywhere, not half present, not 1/3 present, not even 87% present, but they are fully present, 100% present in every space and place. Because God is infinite and God is eternal, which means that God is the same today as God was yesterday, as God will be tomorrow. God doesn't change up. But God is the same always. All-knowing, all-powerful. This I recognize, and I realize my absolute oneness with this presence, with this essence, that the essence of God is the essence of me, because Spirit and I are one. There is no I, there is no mine, there is no me. There is only Spirit expressing itself in and as through this incarnation, in and as and through my life. My life is God living its life. And this means that right where I am, all of the love is. God is I am love. God is I am peace. And God is I am abundance. And harmony and wholeness, intelligence, creativity. I'm forever sourced and fueled and funded. Forever sustained and maintained, not by God, but because I am Spirit. Because I and Spirit are one. Spirit is forever for itself, so Spirit is forever for me. And as this is true for me, I know that it's the truth for and of you. Wherever you are, whoever you are, wherever you came from, your true nature is Spirit. Never separated, never divided from, but always one with. And so, in every single moment of every single day, all of our needs are met. Everything we need, we have to keep moving along that path to freedom, path to wholeness, path of awakening. And as we now, in this moment, are coming back to the nowness of this moment, we're making ourselves open and available for all of that which God is to flow through us. All hindrances are dissolved. All obstacles are dissolved. There is only clarity, purity, right seeing, right knowing. Everything is working for our good. Everything is working for our good. And in this moment, in every moment, something wonderful is happening. Truly, 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 all is well. So peace, be still. All is well. Peace, be still. For all of this, I'm grateful. For all of this, I give thanks. And as I release the word, I do so fully, fully surrendered to the word. There's nothing I need to hold on to. But I can say with a pure heart and a clear mind, thy will be done. And I know that it is done in the mind of Spirit. I know it, I feel it, I accept it, I give thanks for it, I allow it to be. So it is, so be it. Amen. Amen. You may open your eyes and welcome back to the episode, to this moment. And as I said in the beginning, and these, we're talking about principles. This episode is about principles. And principles, as I said, they are statements of absolute truth. Like God is, that's a principle. God is eternal, that's a principle. They're not subject to change ever, but they always apply. They're always valid. They're always the truth. All is well is a principle. Everything's working for our good, it's a principle. God is infinite, that's a principle. God and I are one, that's a principle. And these are beautiful techniques that we can use when faced with challenges. When we face, first of all, every single challenge. I call them challenges. Others may have other names for them or for it, problems or obstacles or whatever, but I call them challenges. And every single challenge that we face is nothing but a stepping stone for us to move to a higher level, a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of wholeness, a higher level of expression. That's the sole purpose of the challenges we face. Now, as we've been talking about before, life and the sacred laws and the divine laws, they are forever monitoring, listening, picking up our vibration. We're emitting vibrations all of the time, and there are lower vibrations and there are higher vibrations. Gratitude, joy, love, peace, harmony, all the essence, all these qualities of spirit, these are high, high, high vibrations. And then we have fear and worry and doubt and resentment and hatred and jealousy and whatever. And these are lower vibrations. And the divine laws, they're forever monitoring and picking up the vibration that we emit. And if the vibration is prolonged, if it's elongated, if it's predominant, if it's chronic, then it will be reflected back into our experience, just like a mirror. I think we talked about a mirror, that life is a mirror a while back. And whatever we hold up, whatever we present to the mirror is the image that we will see. Well, it is the same with our thoughts and our feelings and our action and words, because these make up our vibration. They are the coagulation of our vibration. And so when we're faced with the challenge, when we're experiencing doubt or fear or worry, rather than regurgitating and repeating and complaining, these are all low frequency actions and low frequency behaviors. Rather than doing that, I invite us to come back to principle. Like my go-to principle is all is well. And then I've added peace be still. So what that means is that whenever I become aware of experiencing fear or worry or doubt or animosity or resentment or having judgment about or opinions about what someone else is doing or not doing, the moment I become aware of it, I come back to the principle all is well. Because I know that this is true. I know it. All is well. We're all forever sourced and fueled and funded by the infinite presence that we all are. So how can anything be other than well? God is forever for itself and all of creation. And so that's a principle. All is well, peace be still. I sometimes lean into everything's working for my good. I sometimes lean into something wonderful is happening. But my go-to principle is all is well. And what happens as I remind myself that all is well is that my vibration is being uplifted. It lifts, it expands, it expands rather than going down the drain. And as my vibration remains high and as I lift my vibration, the whole universe rises up to meet me right there at that vibration. And so it is vital. It is so important. We have all been given the gift of independent thinking. We've all been given the ability to think independently of any and all circumstances. And as we move along the path of awakening, becoming more and more conscious, learning to more and more take responsibility for ourselves, our well-being, our wholeness, ultimately our vibration. It is so important that we find the tools that work to keep our vibration high, even in the face of challenges, because nothing is ever served by complaining or bemoaning or victimizing ourselves. Nothing is served by it. All it ever results in is the perpetuation and the amplifying of the very experience that we are resisting, that we are complaining about, that we are bemoaning about, that we are victimizing ourselves about. Nothing is served by it other than the ego being justified as it perceives itself to be a victim. But from an awakening standpoint, nothing is served by allowing ourselves to lower our vibration. Now, as I'm saying this, I also obviously want to say that never, never, never do we want to judge ourselves. But we always want to remain gentle with ourselves, loving and kind. If we fall, which we do, all of us, if we fall, when we fall, we get back up. Just like we had this brief meditation coming into the episode. And our aim and intention is to be present with our breathing. But if we drift away into a thought or a fantasy or whatever it might be, an outer distraction, when we become aware, we come back to the breathing and we begin again. No judgment, no opinion, no anything but love. But love. And this is how we want to seek to move through life. We talked the other week, I believe, a couple of weeks ago perhaps, about the platinum rule, to treat ourselves as we want others to treat us. Cultivating self-love, releasing and letting go of self-judgment and condemnation. These are all a part of sustaining and maintaining a high vibration and expanding, lifting our vibration. So I am love. That's another principle. God is love. I and God are one. So I am love. That's a principle. I am peace. That's a principle. And we want to use these tools that we're given. I'm so grateful for these principles. It was only recently that I learned that they're called principles. I didn't know that before. Still have used them for a long time to keep me sane. To keep me sane. And believe me, and perhaps if you've been on the path long enough, there comes moments where it is perfectly normal to question our sanity. Like just the other week, something happened and I was thrown into reaction. I was experiencing a little bit of fear, and then I came back to all is well. Peace, be still. All is well. Peace, be still. And as that fear and those lower vibrations dissolved, because that's what they do. That's what these principles do to our vibration. They dissolve the lesser so that the higher may emerge. And as I felt totally at peace, no, knowing what I knew that had triggered this emotional reaction, I still knew it on an intellectual level. I was still aware of it, but yet I felt such peace. And I was like, what? I must be going mad. I must be going crazy. This is not, it is not, how is it possible to feel such peace knowing what I know or knowing what I think I know? Because appearances are not, they're not truths. They are appearances. They are passing. They are not eternal. They are not infinite. They are not everlasting, but they are passing. So, knowing what I think I know, how can I feel such peace and such harmony? It's not right. I mean, I could hear myself think this. I could hear myself think this, and I'm become aware of thinking it many, 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 many times over the last few years. But coming back to principle, whatever principle you feel comfortable with. I've just recently realized that I'm not much for affirmations. I used affirmations a lot before, and maybe they'll come back into my toolbox at one point. But right now, I don't lean much into affirmations, but I do lean a lot into these principles, these statements of absolute truth. And the main one, as I've said over and over again, I'm repeating myself here. My main one is all is well, peace, peace still. And so my invitation to you to put this into practice, my invitation to you, if you have a challenge, if you're faced with a challenge, you may not be, it may not be as present right now in this moment, because this, all this may serve to uplift our vibration. So whatever challenge you're facing may not be as present in this moment as it was coming into this episode, or before this episode, before you started listening, before you tuned in. But I invite you to go back to that challenge, bring that back to mind, and then find a principle that appeals to you, that speaks to you. What principle, what statement of absolute truth can you use? Do you feel compelled by, inspired by? And so when you find it, we're going to move into a little bit of stillness and silence. And when you find that principle, I invite you to keep coming back to it and see what happens to your emotional response, or reaction rather, to that external circumstance described as a challenge, or called a challenge. All right, so for a minute, you may close your eyes or you may keep them open. No, I invite you to close your eyes. I invite you to close your eyes. Bring that challenging circumstance, bring it into mind, bring it into your awareness. And then ask your heart, ask that still small voice, what principle, what statement of absolute truth you feel inspired to use. And then go there, come back to that, and come back to that, and come back to that, come back to that, and see what happens with your thoughts and your emotions. And I'll meet you back here in a minute or so. All right, so welcome back. Obviously, I invite you to keep practicing this, using your moments in between to come back to principle. And I burst into laughter because I couldn't find a challenge. I know I have them. I know I have them. But my mind was so stayed on and so fixed on all is well, peace be still. It's like I was tied to that statement. I was tied to that principle and I couldn't let it go. I was glued to it. I couldn't let it go. I kept searching. I kept trying to move away from it, but it pulled me right back in. And I love it. I love it. I love it. We are fully responsible for our vibration. This is what waking up means. That this is what one of the things that waking up means. Learning to take full responsibility for the content in our awareness, the thoughts that we experience, the emotions that we experience. And we are fully responsible for not getting involved in that which no longer serves us. And this has come to be my definition of healing: to release and let go of that which no longer serves us. Complaining, regurgitating, resisting, bemoaning, victimizing, judging, having opinions. None of them serve us. And so as we really learn to release and let them go, sort of like what happened to me right now, I couldn't find a challenge. Even though I easily should be able to tell you about at least 3 or 4 that I know that I have, but right now they are absent from my mind. So this is how healing happens. This is learning to take responsibility for our wholeness and for our harmony and our health and our vibration. Not dwelling on appearances, not dwelling on what we don't want to happen, what we dislike, but choosing to come back to that which is true and real. Choosing to come back to gratitude, choosing to come back to love, choosing to come back to forgiveness, choosing to come back to kindness, choosing to come back to the nowness of this moment over and over and over and over and over again, until, as Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith says, until it becomes a choiceless choice. It's like it is a choice. We made it, but we're not even conscious of making it. It has become a habit. It has become habitual. Repetition, 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 repetition is the key. Doing it over and over and over again. Coming back to principle over and over and over again until it's our second nature, until it's sort of always in the background. I am so grateful for who I am, and it's not in comparison to anyone else at all, other than who I've used to be, who I used to, how I used to be, and what I used to be. Like, my God, absolutely my God. You know, the me that was not even a year ago, not even 6 months ago, and really, my God, like 5 years ago. That being is no more. It is no more. He is no more. But there's a totally new expression that has emerged and that is continuing to emerge. This is an eternal journey. It has no end. There is no final stop. There is no final resting place. There is no I've made it space or place. But it goes on and on and on and on and on to forever higher and greater and grander levels of expression and consciousness. But it is about doing the work. We need, I need, you need to do the work. It will not come just flowing into our experience. Shift doesn't just happen. Well, it can happen, but most of the time it does not just happen, but it happens because we work it. It's like that statement, it works if you work it. Well, we need to work it. We need to do the inner work necessary, reprogramming, embracing, allowing that we may release and let go of that which no longer serves us. It doesn't happen overnight, usually, but it takes time. But as time is a human construct, that's irrelevant. I know, and I've been there, and I go there from time to time. This sort of anxious and impatient calling from within, saying that I should be farther along, or I want to be there now. I want to get there now. But ultimately, divine right action is everywhere. I'm about to sneeze. Let's see if it comes out. Divine right action is, and that's another principle. Divine right action is. Perfection is. Excellence is. There are so many principles. Everything is working for our good. Something wonderful is happening. All is well. Spirit is I am. All right. The time has come for setting our intention. And so I invite you to close your eyes once again. I invite you to turn your attention toward your breath. Become still. Tune into that still small voice that speaks always in a way, in a language that you can understand, whether that may be as a sound or as an image, as a feeling, an inner knowing. So I invite you to turn your attention to that. And let us ask what our intention is for the next 7 days. Let us ask and be open and available that we may receive our intention, our marching orders for the next week. And welcome back. And as always, I invite you to write your intention down on a piece of paper where you can look at it from time to time during the next week or so. The intention that I caught, and that was a bit of a surprise, was to stay in a high vibration regardless. And I remember having this intention for a period of time a couple of months ago, and it came back. So that's interesting. And it's all good. It's all good. All right, so I'm going to bless us out. And so once again, I invite you to close your eyes. Turn your attention toward your breathing. Make yourself open and available. And I invite you to smile. I invite you to smile, and I invite you to take on that feeling tone of gratitude. So before we move into the prayer, I want you to think of something that you are very, very grateful for. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be you yourself. It can be the fact that you're alive. It can be the fact that you're breathing. It can be the fact that you are healthy. It can be the fact that you have a family, that you have loved ones. It can be the fact that you are who you are, that you have food on the table, that you have a nice bed to sleep in, that you have the device to listen to tune into this episode from. It can be anything. But I invite you to take on that feeling tone of gratitude, that high vibration of gratitude. So that as we flow into the prayer, we're already there, because the prayer starts in gratitude. We always want to start with gratitude. We always want to start in gratitude. And so in this moment, how easy it is. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for nothing really and everything. I'm just pure grateful. I'm grateful that you are here. I'm grateful that you tuned in. I'm grateful that you chose to be here rather than watching the news or reading newspaper or updating your social media or gossiping or complaining or bemoaning or resenting. I'm grateful for your presence and for your courage and for your willingness to grow, to expand, your willingness to release and let go of that which no longer serves you, for your willingness to say yes to your soul's calling, for your willingness to heed, to listen and heed that still small voice, for your willingness to commune and connect with the Spirit. I'm grateful for you, for who you are, for the light that you shine, the light that you bring into the world. your expression, your openness, your availability. And I'm grateful that I get to hang out with you. It's a privilege. It is a privilege. It's an honor for me to be hanging out with you. Even though I can't see you, I can feel the field. I sense the field that we are co-creating. And it's a privilege and an honor for me to be in that field. And it's a privilege and honor for me to have this podcast. I'm so grateful to Spirit for guiding and leading me to creating this podcast. And I know that Spirit is forever guiding and leading all of us. Because the will of Spirit is to forever come into greater and grander expressions of who and what Spirit is. And Spirit is us. Spirit is you. Spirit is me. And so Spirit is forever guiding and leading each and every single one of us to forever become more, to forever allow for greater and grander versions and expressions of who and what we are. Never holding anything back, never denying anything, never delaying anything. But Spirit wants to give us the kingdom. Spirit is giving us the kingdom. The question is, are we receiving it? And yes, we are. Yes, we are. In this moment, we are receiving the kingdom. In this moment, we are receiving all of the good of God. Because the good of God is the good of who and what we are as we're one with Spirit. There is only absolute oneness. Closer than our breathing, nearer than our hands and feet. That's what the sacred texts tell us. Spirit is we are, and a Spirit is and we are. We're forever, eternally sourced, fueled, and funded. We have all that we need. We have the entire universe at the back of us. Everything is working for our good. Everything. Sometimes we may not see it, but it doesn't matter. That's inconsequential. Because that is a principle. Everything is working for our good. It's a principle. And that principle and all the principles in this moment are being ingrained, encoded within our being, so that we know and that we feel that they are the truth. So that we know and that we feel that they are the truth. The truth is setting us free. In this moment, as we realize the truth, we are free. Everything is for us, nothing is against us. All is well, peace, peace still. I bless all of you who are tuning in to this episode. This magnificent moment in time. This magnificent moment outside of time, in the eternal. So I release the word, knowing that the word is law. I accept it. I allow it to be. I allow the law to demonstrate this word. That is as it is done in the mind of God. So it is, so be it. Amen. Thank you so much. And welcome back. Until the next time, whenever, wherever that may be, I do bless your day and I do bless your way. Namaste. You have been listening to an episode of the Path to Freedom podcast with me, Daniel Roqueo. I invite you to stay tuned for more episodes. If you have any questions or comments or just want to get more inspiration and empowerment, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I also invite you to visit my website, danielroqueo.com. I bless your day and I bless your way, you beautiful, wonderful being.